Hi Crochet-Alongers, this is Tammy Snow again, and today I'm going to show you how to assemble the head. And we have our finished head piece, and I've marked off with stitch markers where I'm going to be putting the eyes. I have both my ears finished, and I have my eyes and the eye surrounds finished here too. For the eye surround, you're going to slip your eye into the center of your hole here and find your first spot, which, like I said, I have marked here, and pull out my stitch marker and insert the eye right into its spot. Now I'm going to snap it in place. Now it's thick, so you might want to turn it the other way. For some reason it snaps better sometimes on thicker fabric. So that's done, and you're going to repeat with the second eye and do the same thing in this spot. So now I have my eye set in place with the wide end, with the DCs, with your double crochet stitches facing outward, and your half double crochet stitches on the inside. Now, before we sew down the eyes, I like to stuff it first. So let's stuff it. So I've got a bunch of stuffing here, and my way to stuff is I stick it in and then push it out towards the outside. So take a little handful of stuffing, stuff it into the center, and then push it outward. There, now my doll is stuffed, and if you can see, the fur gets a little wild while you're stuffing it. But that's why we use a soft bristle brush at the end to kind of smooth it all out. So while you're working, if it gets a little funky looking, it's okay. So as you can see, he's stuffed pretty firmly, but not super. He's still soft. And now I'm going to show you how to sew the eyes down. Now this is where I like to use kind of a smaller embroidery needle. Now you might be wondering, how am I going to get my yarn in that teensy weensy little hole? Well, here's another little trick. You can fold the yarn over where the eye of the needle is and pull it tightly and kind of snap, and then you have like kind of a thin surface to kind of wiggle through the hole like that. You can get it into a pretty small hole that way. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to stitch the eye down. You want to make sure it's smoothed out and in the right position. Then you're going to go under both loops and work kind of underneath, not over here, but you want to get like right underneath where it goes, and pick up a few little furry stitches and then go down. And then you're going to repeat that all the way around the eye. Now you might catch, because this is a furry pammy, you might catch some fur in your stitches. That's okay, you can always pick that out later with your needle. So I'll show you a few more times. You're going to go under both stitches, and try to make sure you're getting actual stitch under there and not just fuzz. Because it's very easy to just grab fuzz and move on. Okay, so now I have both my eyes tacked down, and it's time to work on the ears. Now your finished earpiece will look like this, like just a semicircle, I guess, or half circle. How you get it into the C shape that I say in the pattern is to just fold it flat, and then see, you get a nice C shape. C. And so you're going to stick that in the correct place. I give you row dimensions in the pattern on the head, and I kind of hold it like this as I'm stitching it down. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Okay, so same as with the eyes, you're going to hold it in its place and grab a stitch, go underneath where you want it to be, not next to it or beside it, but right directly underneath it, and pick up some stitch and tack it down. And as you go, make sure you're keeping its shape the way you want it so that it doesn't get out of shape as you go. Pretty much like after every stitch, I make sure that we're still in the right place. And like I said, you get fuzz in your stitch, it's okay, you can always work it out later with the little needle. And just make sure you're keeping that C shape, because if you don't, your ear's going to end up all squashed out or whatever. So keep making sure that it's still in its C shape and tack it down basically the same way you did the eyes. Now I've finished that with both, and then we'll stitch on the face. Now before we move on to the face, I'm actually going to show you real quickly how to get rid of all these ends. Now this time I'm using a very large yarn needle. I like metal. You can use plastic for this part if you'd like. But metal goes through the yarn so easy. So you're basically just going to stick it in wherever it's coming out. And I just go ahead and push it clear through into the stuffing. And then I just tuck it in there. No need to cut it, nothing. Just stick it right back in the hole. That way, if, heaven forbid, one of it comes out, you have plenty of yarn to stick it back in. So I'll do it one more time to show you. So I'm going right into the hole that it comes out of and then out. And then stuffing it right back in there. And just finish that with all your ends, and then we'll do the head. Okay, now we're going to stitch on the face. As you can see, I've kind of already stuck it in my first stitch. You're going to pull it through and go through again to get your first hint of what the nose will be like. And then count over 3 stitches and do it again. Now you're just going to continue going through that same hole in the center. Sometimes I like to kind of hold it in place while I'm pulling it through so that I know it's going where I want it to go. See, like right now. And you just continue doing this until you've gone all the way across. make sure you go all the way across to the other side. Okay, I've done the nose. Now I'm going to do the mouth. You're going to come down the designated amount of stitches. So if it's 1, 2, 3 rows, and then out the designated number of stitches, like that. Then you're going to go back into that first hole and out across the designated number of stitches, which I'm doing 2. And then straight out the bottom. Now this one, I'm going to go ahead and put that in my needle. And I like to just go across the top to hide this a little. Oops. And you want to come back out the bottom too. And then to secure it all down, sometimes I like to just tie a knot so that none of my ends come out. And then shove all the ends into the doll. And we have a finished head. Now you can take your soft bristle brush and comb it out a little. And you're done. Now your homework for next week is going to be to finish all the pieces for the body, brush out the body, get everything and your eyes for joints ready, and next week we'll be assembling the finished doll. See you next week and enjoy the crochet along. This is Tammy Snow of RoxyCraft.com. Bye.